Hello everyone and welcome to another comic book video. Today we are going to be talking about some anniversary issues of Batman and Detective Comics. We're looking specifically at some of the modern issues. So first off I have Batman 700, but just to give you some idea about these anniversary issues, they are usually used to commemorate a series when it reaches a certain number. So in many ways, it's just kind of commemoration of the character, but also sometimes of the series as well. For instance, certain numbers like issue 50 or issue 100 or issue 500, things like that will sometimes be celebrated with like an anniversary issue just to commemorate the fact the series have reached that milestone, or sometimes even just commemorate the character, or sometimes even too it could be a different type of number but one that has significance to the character that appears in the series, as we're going to see with some of these Batman comics. So like I said, the first one I have is Batman 700 with a very nice David Finch cover. A lot of the stories in here were written by Grant Morrison, and this was kind of a very interesting anniversary issue that looked at different characters who have been Batman over the years. So of course there's a story with Bruce Wayne as Batman, there's another one with Dick Grayson as Batman, you also have a story with Damian Wayne as Batman, and you also have an appearance by Terry McGinnis who becomes Batman Beyond also in this issue. So in many ways it was kind of an, not only an anniversary issue, but looking at some of the different characters who over the years have portrayed Batman. So, but that's Detective Comics 700. Next one I have for you is, there you go, Detective Comics 27. This is probably about as close as I ever get to Detective Comics 27. Of course, the original one with the first appearance of Batman is worth a lot of money. I've actually seen a page of that issue sell for over $1,000. So it's a very highly expensive issue to get. This is the new 52 Detective Comics 27. This was when they revamped the series and restarted the renumbering during the new 52. This is the 1 in 50 variant, by Jim Lee. Very nice cover. Of course, you may notice that Batman actually is carrying a gun. In some of the very, very early issues in the back in like the late 30s, early 40s, he would actually sometimes use guns. It wasn't until later they developed the whole idea where he never used guns because a gun was what killed his parents. But in some of those very early issues, he would actually sometimes use and carry a gun. So this cover kind of commemorates those very early stories, but it's just a very nice cover. Also, it's a CGC 9.8. Next one I have for you, and I'll just show this one briefly because I've shown it in previous videos on variant covers, is Batman 50. Of course, this is the infamous marriage issue, which I talked about in a previous video. But you don't see it so much on this cover, but on the main cover for the issue, it does mention it's an anniversary issue. It's, of course, with anniversary issues, a lot of times they're slightly bigger, or they have a lot more of a page count. And of course, they usually cost a little more extra money too. But that is Batman 50, of course, another nice Jim Lee cover. Next, I have Detective Comics 1000. I have another one of these which I've shown in the previous video, which is one of the Midtown variants. This one here is actually the 1930s cover variant by Steve Rude, a nice cover, but in many ways it kind of commemorates those very early stories in the 30s, which of course the Jim Lee cover for the Detective Comics 27 does the same thing too. That's actually just some of my favorite time period of mine, is just those very early Batman stories. So Detective Comics 1000, of course this is celebrating the 1000th issue of Detective Comics. And the final one I brought for you is Detective Comics 1027. Of course, since Batman showed up in Detective Comics 27, the number 27 has a lot of significance for the character. So a lot of times when he reaches a 27th issue, with Detective Comics, a lot of times they might do something like a special anniversary issue or something special to commemorate it. So this is issue 1027 by a nice variant cover. This is actually an Unknown Comics exclusive cover too, by Kale the Jew, and just a really nice cover. And of course, it shows some of the different female characters that appeared in Batman and Detective Comics over the years, such as Batwoman, and of course the Barbara Gordon Batgirl and Huntress as well. So that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, just go ahead and give it a like, and I'll see you next time. Bye.